What's going on, world? It's your boy MUG Amillion in the building. You're now tuned in to another episode of Indie Music, Major Business, brought to you by Money United with Game. Y'all be sure to check the link down in the description. Go visit the website, moneyunitedwithgame.com. Follow your boy MUG Amillion on Instagram at MUGS_A_million. We also got the fresh Instagram page set up now for Indie Music Major Business. So again, links is in the bio in the description right there. Follow MUG Amillion. You'll find all of that. Indie Music _Major Business. All right, now let's get into it for today, man. Hope y'all been enjoying the journey. Again, the goal is to motivate, educate, and elevate indie music professionals all across the world. I'm giving y'all some glimpse into my story, my journey, my testimony. But at the same time, my walk through this music industry, I've done a lot. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you checked out some of the previous episodes, you'll hear some of the things I've accomplished. Been blessed to be able to experience in the music industry, you know? So today, man, we just want to jump into some major business as far as you as an indie artist out there, man. If you're an indie music professional that's on the artist side of it, right? I want to put y'all up on some real deal Money United with Game about you as a brand, right? A lot of times we're too dependent upon just our music. In this game, in this industry, a lot of us are leaning too much on just the music and thinking that our music is what's going to make us popular amongst a fan base, right? Or popular, especially amongst record labels. If you're out there, you're an indie music professional, and I ain't knocking you in no kind of way, but if you're trying to get a record deal, I'm going to tell you what's really real, right? They're not signing people off of your music anymore, man. It's not about your talent. I don't care how good your song may be. It's about brand awareness, brand building, right? Some of your top artists today, Cardi B. Cardi B is a great example of it, right? She came in this game fresh off of, the reality TV stuff. And so using her as an example, right? She had a brand that was already being built and being exposed to a major fan base. Prior to her even being known for doing music or anything at all. Then the groundwork and the grind of actually recording good music and putting that good music out, it all kind of coincided and came together for her though. But initially, man, it's all about the brand. Let's use another perfect example, man, the Lonzo Ball situation. Cool song, don't get me wrong. Song is a good, catchy record, but it's bigger than the song. He is who he is. His name is already a well-known name throughout the athletic industry and sports world. And so, with his father and what his brothers got going on, so you tie that into a good song, and the brand itself, man, is what they really attracted to. That's what got him the big record deal over there at Def Jam that he got. That's why he able to go into the door with his very first song and negotiate and have leverage for owning his masters and things of that nature, though. So I want y'all to start understanding, again, you as a brand, right? I talked about it. Just been out on the grind, man, so I got a little sweat coming through. But you know what I mean? We're going to keep pushing through it. Like I said, we pushing out here, man. I'm on that grind, just like y'all, man. Indie music, handling major business out here. But like I talked about, like I said, on a previous episode about merchandise, right? And how to attach your song or even your name as an artist, your brand, right? How to attach that brand to merchandise and begin to make money in that form, right? So you talk about a single. Again, like I use an example. You got a song called Get to the Money or whatever your title is called. We're gonna say you got a record called Get to the Money. Again, like I used in the previous episode, this is real facts. Numbers don't lie. It takes about a million streams to make $1,500. But if you take that same slogan for your song, Get to the Money, and you put that on some shirts, I guarantee you that 50 shirts at $20 a shirt is going to make you $2,000 way before you're going to get to 1 million streams to make $1,500. So again, building up a brand, right? Telling your story. This is how you go about building up a brand. Same thing we're doing right now with Indie Music Major Business. Me as your host, MUG Amillion. I'm just going down my story timeline with y'all, man. This stuff I done really lived out, hands-on experience, and hopefully y'all can connect to me and connect to my story, my journey, and that's what keep y'all coming back, tuning in, watching my episodes, right? And, you know, even finding my music and stuff like that, and hopefully y'all can get attracted to my music situation, me as an artist. Y'all hear songs on there that connect to y'all and resonate with what y'all going through, and again, y'all become fans of my music as well. But that's what you got to start doing, right? Give you a perfect example. Me personally, Kevin Gates. I wasn't a huge fan of Kevin Gates just off his music alone. I'm not going to lie. But the more I used to see him speak on interviews, right, and him telling his story and just really just putting himself out there, I started being more likable of him as a person. And then that's what kind of led me to let me start checking into his music a little deeper, right? And, you know, again, I got a record with him too, man. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it remix. We're going to be releasing that, you know what I mean? So y'all be looking out for that too as well, though, man. MUG Amillion and Kevin Gates, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's what really attracts people to you as an artist. Starting off, it's your story, your brand, right? Who you are as a person outside of just your music. You got to find a way for your story to connect with the everyday person, because people want to be able to find music that they can get through their day with, get through their week at work with, right? So a lot of times we're trying to live this lifestyle through music and put off this persona and this image that we got it all made, we get money, this and that. But the average person is really kind of struggling, and they just want to get through they daily job or whatever it is, they week at work. They're looking forward to Friday where they gonna probably kick it or something like that when they getting, you know what I mean, they got a fresh paycheck and they getting some money to go celebrate and live life like that. But on the average, the everyday person out here that's really streaming music and pushing, you know what I'm saying, through life out here, man, they need some music that's going to motivate them, man, going to encourage them to keep going and keep getting through what they may be dealing with and going through out here, man. We in some rough times. You know, everything post-pandemic, you know, it's been rough out here for a lot of people. A lot of folks, you know, lost people, lost family members. So start keeping all that in mind when you go into the studio and you're making music, right? Life ain't happy-go-lucky for a lot of people out here. Not saying you got to flood them with sad music and music that's going to have people down and out, but we got to uplift people through that music, right? Through these times with our music, though, with our creativity. So, again, I want you to be able to tie all that into you as an artist, you as the brand that you're building. Be authentic with yourself. Be authentic with the person that you are. Right? My whole MUG Amillion movement, me as an artist, outside of doing hosting shows and hosting things like this right here, Indie Music Major Business, is about me being one of a million, right? The EP that I released is out right now and available again. Link in the description, you can find all of that. One of a million is me. That's my testimony and my movement as an artist moving through the music industry, right? Building a fan base off of being one of a million, because I'm no different than the other million of people that I'm trying to connect to and want to inspire through my music. And so all you got to do is just try to find that million people that relate to you and your story. It's 8 billion people in this whole entire world, right? All you going after is that 1 million that's just like you, that's going through that same story, that same situation that you going to, that you can be authentic with, be real with, and relate to them through your art. You know what I'm saying? The way you create music and put that out to the people like that. You know, again, man, too many artists out there are trying to be somebody they really not. And then that's when you really run into the headache and the setback of not being able to really succeed, right? Perfect example. You got that artist out there that want to be this big baller and bringing all this club music out to the people, right? But can you really keep up with that lifestyle and that image? I seen it all the time, man. When I made my transition and moved from Nashville down there to Atlanta, you going into these clubs trying to keep up with these people that's really getting to the bag, right? They really getting money. NBA players, NFL players, artists that's already signed to major record labels. Here you is coming in there with your last $1,000, even if you got $5,000, right? You doing that one night, one time to act like you really doing something, when guess what? They doing that every day of the week. $10,000, $20,000 at a time. You're not going to be able to compete with that or keep up with that. That lifestyle, that image that you're trying to portray as an artist or through your music. Are you going to be able to authentically keep up with that lifestyle, right? How many days a week can your cameraman follow you around and showcase you living out that kind of lifestyle? Not many. One weekend out of probably a year, 2 times out of the year, you know. So let's start being more real about who we are as an artist, as a brand that you're trying to build, right? Your brand is a long-term, worldwide thing. Like, start thinking worldwide. Get up out of that local mindset trying to impress the people in your neighborhood, trying to impress the people in the city that you live in, right? You got to start thinking worldwide. Does a person the next city over even know who you are yet? Does a person the next state over know who you are yet? How many times have you drove outside of your city, connected with the DJs in the next city over or the next big town over? It may be another state away. Like I said, here in Nashville, we touching all kind of states around us. Kentucky in one direction, Georgia and Alabama in another direction, the Carolinas, right across the way, Indiana right up the road. So for me being an artist in Nashville, right here in the middle of Tennessee, I could go in any direction, 2 to 3 hours, 4 to 5 hours outside of my city and start connecting and networking with other artists in other areas, connecting with DJs and club venues in other areas and other markets outside of my hometown, actually building up my brand, building up a real following and real true fan base for my music. And so that's what I want y'all to start thinking about and getting yourself in the habit of doing, though. If you're an indie music professional out there, especially as an artist, man, let's start really looking at ourselves as a business. Indie music, major business, that's what that's all about. I want you guys to start understanding, start thinking outside the box, start looking at yourself as, I'm bigger than just an artist, right? I'm a whole brand out here. You able to start selling merchandise like through your videos and stuff, right? So start utilizing, okay, you hear about it all the time. I'm going to give y'all some real deal money united with game, right? I hear about artists all the time talking about they local cities and stuff not supporting them, right? Well, how many of y'all artists can honestly say that y'all supporting y'all local city as well, right? It takes support to get support. So what I mean by that is you're going to go shoot a music video, right? Do a scene at one of your local restaurants around this town. Get a sponsorship from one of the independent clothing designers. Wear they outfit in your music video. Y'all support each other. You get what I'm saying? And that's how you build up your brand, build up their brand, and y'all connect with each other. And that same support that you're saying you want your hometown to do, you leading by example by supporting them. I've done it several times, man. You go check out one of my videos I got called Go Get It. I'm at local restaurants. I'm showcasing other local brands, whether it be clothing brands, food brands, products or whatnot, though. I collaborated in that sense intentionally and on purpose so I could let people see this is how you supposed to do it, man. If you want that support in your hometown, go collaborate with other artists, invite them out to come do cameos and stuff in your music videos. That's how you build yourself up, build your brand up bigger than just the music, man. Again, some of the previous episodes, I talked about networking. Everything boils down to how you able to network in this industry and who you know and who knows you, So yeah, man, just start thinking outside the box, y'all. Again, man, I want y'all to start looking at yourselves as bigger than an artist. You're a brand, right? So connect your brand to other brands. We see these major artists do it all the time, and when they go get liquor companies, and you know, do liquor deals and stuff like that with these people though, man. It's not by chance. You know, you see an artist pop up on a McDonald's commercial and they got the new Big Mac combo or whatever of the month. That's because of the brand. It's bigger than the music. Hardly ever when you see that artist in that commercial, right, attaching themselves to that brand, you don't hear their music playing in the background. You just see them connected to that other brand. Because why? Them as a brand now is good enough. You already know their music is out there though, but more so than their music, you know Travis Scott when you see him. So what? We're going to name this hamburger after Travis Scott this month and connect our brand with his brand, man. So think outside the box, man. That's some indie music major business for you right there. Again, I am your host, MUG Amillion, in the building, the author of the book, Indie Music Major Business, A Guide to Your First Royalty Check. If you ain't received a royalty check yet and you've been releasing music, putting music out on YouTube, Spotify, whatever you have it, and you haven't received a royalty check, I promise you, this book gonna get you on point. It's available on all the streaming platforms where you got your music at, any platform where you listening to music, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all those same platforms where you can go listen to music at, you can go and download and listen to the audio book. Indie Music Major Business, man. Again, the link is in the bio. Go ahead and check out the description area right there. Click on that link. Find your boy on Instagram, man. MUGS_Amillion. Just like that, man. Leave me a comment, a DM, any other topics or subject matters you want me to speak on. Anything that you heard or listened to or read in the book that you don't understand or you want a little more clarification on, holler at your boy about it, man. Let's bring it to the episode. Let's talk about it. Again, Indie Music Major Business. It's your boy MUG Amillion in the building. Shout out to Money United with Game. And that's what it is, man. Y'all be blessed out there and do your best out there, man, to keep being who you is and put your brand out there, man. You're bigger than an artist. You're a brand. That's the real deal, major business behind being an indie music professional. Let's go, y'all. MoneyUnitedWithGame.com. Link in the description. Holla at your boy. Yeah.